Vivo! Hola! How is everybody doing today, this wonderful Sunday? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope your week went very well. My week went by very quickly. As a matter of fact, today, excuse me, what did I do today? I went out for brunch with my nieces and nephew. They are 15, 16, and 17 years old. Yeah. So we had a really good time today, brunch, and my week went by pretty quickly working with families all week long with childcare. So yeah, I'm wondering what's going on with you, and how was your Sunday fun day? What are you doing? How are you preparing for the week? And I wanted to come on real quick and talk to everybody about what was mentioned last week in a couple of my comments. And if you're joining me, hi Ashley, give me a thumbs up, or it looks like I might be able to see comments this week. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Perfect. Okay, good. So if you're coming in, let me know you're here so I can see that you're here. Just give me a thumbs up or a heart. You don't have to comment if you don't feel like you want to comment. So last week when I came on, I had a couple of parents ask about activities, other activities aside from reading books with your children, and how to manage the screen time, getting our children off of screens and being able to go back, go to doing other activities. So I wanted to talk a bit about this. This is something that I deal with all the time, every day. Hola, Amanda, with families and children's. And yeah, you did. You made it. Thank you. And so first of all, we all know that in today's society, our children are going to be on screens on more way than one, whether it's on a mobile phone or their tablets or a computer screen, they are going to, they're going to be on the screens. And let's face it, I feel for the parents today with little ones and young kids or teenagers in your homes, because our kids need to keep up with what's going on with technology and what's going on with the rest of the world. And we want to make sure that they're able to compete. And we want to make sure that they, understand, what's going on in the world. So I get that. But I think screens came in so quickly that I think that we as parents, caregivers, family members didn't have an opportunity to really think about how much time our children would be spending on these screens, because now they're doing it in school. Hola, Roro. How are you? Thank you for joining. Okay, so basically, hi, Michelle. Thanks for coming out. So, we want our kids to keep up with the rest of the world, as I was saying before. So with what I do with screens, and I would love to hear in the comments below, how do you manage your screen times with your kids? Because I know I've seen it. It's a tussle. It's a tussle to get our kids off of the screens. And I mean, it's to the point where sometimes you have to take the screens away from them for the next day or maybe for a few days, just because they become so highly addicted to screens. Yes, I was so surprised my son was watching Netflix in school. Yes. So I found out in some schools, and I'll go back to how to manage the screen time. Some schools are even showing movies that are inappropriate. Like, I know a young lady came home and she told her parents about a movie day that the teacher had planned or scheduled, and she gave the title of the movie, and the parents looked it up, and it wasn't an appropriate movie to be shown in school, and they really didn't understand why they were showing this movie. I don't remember what the title was. And so the child was very uncomfortable with seeing this in school, so they actually asked her parents if they would pull her out of school for that time and just have her go home for the rest of the day. So yes, schools are, I know there's always this thing about homeschool or traditional schools, and both of them have their benefits and, their ups and downs. But that is a really concern about what's going on in schools today with the screens. My daughter is 11, and honestly, I don't really manage it apart from taking away her phone, but her iPad is not an issue really. I'm about to have another baby, and I'm much more conscious that I don't want the iPad to bring him up. Oh yeah, see that's good. See, so your first go around, it was a learning process, but it looks like that your daughter pretty much understands, you know, how to manage that. So that's really good. Some kids are not highly addicted to it. Some kids can't function without it. So I've seen, you know, a mixture there. So basically, let me see, did I miss another comment? Michelle, it's a constant fight for us and we end up having screen-free days. I love it. I love it. That's what we have to do. Screen-free days. I love it. That's what you have to do. Yes. So you know what, real quick, I need to drop this. I don't know if you've seen this today, but I'm going to drop this in a comment. I did create an activity, Roro. I created an activity on YouTube. Oh, actually, this is my Pinterest. So I wanted to just post this. I have a Pinterest full of activities, so you can use as a backup plan whenever you need to take the screens away, or if hold on one second. I'm sorry, I might be posting this twice by accident. One second, everybody. Sorry, I'm just learning that I have to do this while it's live, because after it doesn't work as well. Oh my goodness. Here we go with this technology. Un momento, por favor. Uh-oh. Here I am. I'm sorry. Okay. So that was the Pinterest I put in there. I'm looking for I just posted a new video today on YouTube, and it looks like it won't let me put it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So, Roro, I was thinking about you when I put this in there, and a couple other parents from last week. I did this activity this week on YouTube for you guys, just so it could be just a little, it's a STEM project. It's really easy. I got a comment on it today from a parent that said that she actually used white flowers for the STEM activity that I have. So I have the YouTube there. I use celery sticks and food coloring. So it's a STEM project that you could check out. It's a 3-minute video. So it's something that you could check out. And also my Pinterest, I have tons of activities. So let's go back to the topic at hand. I just had to put that in there while it was live. So first of all, what I found when I work with children is I schedule their screen time. So basically, I go through their day in my mind, what their schedule is, what do we do in the mornings, what do we do afternoon or evenings, or if they're in school, how do we, schedule that around their activities, because you do want them to get on there. You want them to get on there and enjoy it, but you want them to do it at the right time of the day, and you want to put parameters on it, basically, so it doesn't overtake their lives. So basically, you schedule the screen time. So if everyone's household is different, and I'll say this every week, there's no one size fit all. So if you're not comfortable with your child having a screen before they have to get ready for school, because you know that it's going to cause them to drag their feet to get ready, then the incentive would be the sooner you get ready, you get through breakfast. If you have 5 or 10 additional minutes before school, then I will let you go on the screens and I will set a timer. So I will always set a timer like on the microwave, and when it dings, the screen comes off. If we have a hard time coming off, or we're trying to do negotiations, then we get a warning. This is a warning. If you don't come off the screens, then tomorrow morning I won't be able to give you this opportunity. And usually that works out, because nobody wants to give it up the next day. But sometimes, you have those days where you're like, I don't care, I'll give it up. I need to finish this. So you want to schedule the screen around when you would like them to use it. And when is it a good time for you? Like, say for instance, you're in the kitchen and you're trying to organize the kitchen, and this is a good time for them to have the tablet. If you do that, say you do that at 10 a.m. and you have a 4-year-old at home that's quite not all the way in school, maybe that's a good time for you to be able to do what you got to do. Of course, parameters, you set up, whatever activities you want them to do on the screen, and you let them work on that while you're working on that, while mommy and daddy we're cleaning up the kitchen. When I'm done with the kitchen, then you're coming off the screen. You could do something like that just to be able to get through your work. So basically, you just want to schedule the screen time and put parameters and a time limit on it. The other thing that I would suggest is a docking station. And it should not be in their rooms, but it's up to you. Because I know kids sneak on the screens at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And so a docking station is just a place where you want to do, charge all the screens at. It's where it belongs, it's where it docks at. So when it's not in your child's person, say for instance, this is not the time for screens, you blocked an hour and a half, we're going to do something else at this time, then make sure the screen goes, to the docking station area, wherever you want that to be at. Again, if you might have a child that it can stay in their rooms and they're not going to try to sneak and go back on it. The other thing that I would do is if you need a child that has to have visuals, because I'm such a visual learner, create a visual chart of a schedule for the screens, so your child understands when they're on the screen. Maybe you can color green what time, and maybe you can color red, this is when it stops. So something like that. Just create a quick little card or something, put it on the refrigerator, wherever you post things at, post-it notes, so that they have a visual and an understanding of when they can use it and when they can't, because that could kind of help a little bit with the behavior. Because sometimes when children are in the dark about what comes next, it causes a lot of behavior issues, because they feel like they don't know what's going on. And a lot of children like to know what comes next, because it helps them to understand what's expected of them, and it might ease the pain a little bit. The other thing is, we have to be a model. So I know most of us that are on here are entrepreneurs. And we're always on our screens, we're always on the computer, we're on social media, and our children are watching that. And when they watch that, they were like, oh, okay, well, if you can do it, I can do it too. So basically, we have to, a good idea is, if you can try to, now we're still an adult, you're mommy, you're daddy, you're the adult here, but it wouldn't be a bad idea if maybe once a day or twice a day, depending on how many days their screen needs to dock, maybe your screen needs to dock too. Because now the child is looking for you for, what else am I going to do? And Roro mentioned something last week, that books are great and they're fun, but you want to be able to do more. You want to be able to explore more, which is why I started the YouTube channel, because I like to try to take a story and try to give it a little, take an adventure with it. So books can go anywhere. That's another reason why I started the channel. You can read in the book, in the car, you could take them anywhere you want to go. They could take them in the grocery store, they could be reading or whatever, but they're going to be looking at you now for some activities. So that's why I was giving you the Pinterest and the activity that I put in there today, because now we need to give them the attention that they want. And so we need to be present, and we need to be ready with an activity or something to do. So some things are a field trip. You could take a field trip for a block of 2 hours or an hour out of the day. You can also take a walk together. I don't know where you live at. I know Michelle's in Canada, Roro's in London, and I think the rest of the ladies on here are United States. But whatever part of the world that you're living in, I know I'm experiencing a light spring, not too much. We had snow and frost over the last couple of days. The sun came out today, so everything is melted and everything, but it's still chilly. A nature walk, collecting nature items, natural items, rocks, stones, same thing, twigs, maybe old leaves. And what I do is I like to carry a bag. They have a bag, I have a bag. We collect items. Then when we come home, we get a big chart, and then you can glue the natural items on there, or you could create a mobile out of twigs, where you take string and you can get like a hanger, and you can hang different lengths of all of the things that you collected on your walk. Or one of my favorite things, I like to paint anything. So I will paint a twig in a second. So, branches, paint it, put some glitter on there, let it air dry, and then, they can hang some natural items in their room or create some other things with it. So those are some ideas too for the nature walk. Field trips, I love field trips. I was at the Children's Museum the last 2 weeks. I can't wait to get ready to go to the zoo. Hola, Deb, how are you? Yes, he still has the museum flyer. Yay! So Deb here is one of my favorite families that I care for her child. And he and I have been going to the museum the last couple of weeks. And I tell you, we have a new children's museum in Cleveland, and they just did an outstanding job. It's a place where kids don't want to leave. But anyway, my other favorite place is at the zoo. and then the science museums. And then, of course, we talked about the libraries, and they have different classes that you could do, like a craft at and things of that nature. So when you remove the screen from your child, you want to be able to have something to fill that void. So they're going to be looking for you on that. The other idea I had was Pinterest. So it's a good idea to maybe start a Pinterest folder with your child. So one day, just take a half an hour out your day or 20 minutes. This is another activity that you can do. This is really fun. I've done this with children. You go to Pinterest, create a folder, let them title it, and you start looking through different areas on Pinterest and start saving activities that they would like to do on a rainy day, activities they like to do with you, just different activities. And then next thing you know, you're building up your own folder. So when you have rainy days or whenever you need to dock the screen, you can go to the Pinterest and say, okay, let's select something. Let's find something that we want to create or make or work on. What do you want to do? Let's do this, let's do that. And then you can go to it and then you can work together on that too. So I think that's a good idea. He is looking on. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Okay, so I think that was it. So yeah, just, model the behavior coming off of screens, come with a docking station and create a schedule for your screens, decide whether you want them to use it before or after or what time of the day you want them to use it. And just be there, be ready and be present for them with an activity to take the place of the screen. So yeah, so that's basically what I have for you this week. And also to let you know, hola Grace, how are you? Thank you for joining. I'll be wrapping it up. Hey, I just gave them, gave all the parents a few ideas of what to do. I also, anyone that's just came on, I also put in there, thank you, Grace. I also put on there my Pinterest folder again, and I also created a STEM activity that I just published on YouTube this morning for parents. So you can use that as a substitute for screens too. So, and I think that is all my ideas. My website. So we're getting very, 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 very close to get ready to announce my 7-day that's going to lead up to the launch of my website. So I will keep you informed with that. I'll be back here next Sunday, and hopefully next Sunday I'll be able to give you the exact date that the launch will occur. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. That the date would occur. And yeah, and then we can have our lunch party together. So I'm going to end off with a live lunch party here. So be on the lookout for that. And also my book is coming along very well, so I was able to select my, I don't know if many of you know that I'm writing a children's book. I have a children's series, but my first one I'm publishing. So my illustrator got over to me a few book covers, and I finally was able to select the one that I really like. So yeah, so I'm moving forward with publishing my book, and that my book will be published, and the date is going to be August 5th is when I'm going to drop that book. So yeah, thank you, Grace. I appreciate that. Hola, Mercedes. How are you, honey? Yeah, so that was it. That's all I have for you on the parameters of managing screen time, and again, some activities in there. So go ahead and check out my YouTube video that I published today, and also check out my Pinterest folder. There's a lot of fun activities in there. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let everybody go this Sunday, and I will be back next Sunday. Thank you so much. Gracias. Adios. Bye-bye.